My name is Jenny, and I'm a wife and mom raising 2 kids. But I used to live a more glamorous life as a TV reporter. I was on the nightly news interviewing pop stars and politicians. So when I said goodbye to TV and hello to motherhood, I suddenly discovered what we moms are up against. We live in a world that tells us to be rich and famous, thin and successful. You know, almost nobody says, "Oh, hey, you're a mom? That is fabulous." But you are fabulous, and I'm here to tell you why.
It's the Channel Mom Show, celebrating you with Jenny Dean Schmidt.
Attention, moms. You know, we're also concerned about how we look on the outside, but what about our insides? Now you can age-proof your body with Protandem. Just reach for what's been called the best anti-aging product out there, as seen on the Today Show. Sign up now as a preferred customer, and after receiving your 3rd bottle, get a $50 Visa gift card. Just click on the ad to the right of this video to get started. Welcome back to the Channel Mom Show, celebrating you, Mom, celebrating your family, trying to help you. We got a great interview that's really I'm hoping to help a lot of people out there. We've got a couple, actually. This author I'm very excited about. Some people are going to really recognize her name because she really is, she's sold 6 million books. She's just a prolific writer and very good at what she does and sort of changed her direction not too long ago. Terry Blackstock is a New York Times bestselling author, as I said, sold over 6 million copies worldwide of her books, initially from her romance novels, but now she's moved into suspense. Terry has won multiple awards. She sold her first novel at age 25 and now has over 25 years of success as a novelist. But Terry has had some major hurdles in her life. Sometimes the best writers have, including divorce and her own daughter's drug addiction. If I understand the story correctly, she's here today to discuss the hurdles that she has been through, to discuss her books, to help people with the particular issue of addiction, and I think she's going to be fabulous with this story. Welcome, Terry Blackstock.
Hi, it's great to be here.
Oh, we're blessed to have you, so we're so glad you're on the show, Terry. Can you just give people a little background? You are really very successful as a romance writer. Is that correct?
Yes, I was. I had 32 titles with Harlequin, Silhouette, HarperCollins, Dell Publishing, and I just kind of got burnt out and wanted my books to have more of a spiritual theme. I felt like what I was writing was, sort of devoid of that last dimension, which is faith. And so I quit that, and I started over fresh with my new name, Terry Blackstock, which actually was my real name.
Yeah, and what were you writing under before?
I was writing under 2 pseudonyms, which I don't like to give out now.
Okay.
Because I don't want people going and looking for those books, because the books that I'm writing now are clean. They don't have profanity. They don't have sex. They're just page-turning thrillers.
Wow,
And,
Terry, that is a transformation, girl.
It is, and it had to do with my faith, and they do have a faith message in each book, and I just am really having so much fun with that. It's thrilling.
So is there shame on those others, or you just say, okay, God allowed me to do that and that's done, but I don't need to claim those anymore? Is that where you're at?
Yeah, kind of. I really wanted to get out of that because I just believed that the gift that I'm given is really imagination. I have this extremely fertile imagination, and I see scenarios everywhere I go. And I just thought, God gave me this for a reason, and I'm going to use it for Him, for His purposes instead of fame and fortune, which I was going for before.
Yeah, and you succeeded initially at that, but you're probably happy you're doing this. So Terry, tell us your story. I know that you now have a heart for families that are going through addiction, and you have a story that you never thought you would have to live through, I believe.
Exactly.
Tell us what unfolded in your life.
Well, about 10 years ago, my daughter started getting really sick. We started noticing that she was getting very frail. She was throwing up a lot. She couldn't hold a job, and she was in her early 20s. And eventually we realized that it was because she had very severe drug addictions. She wasn't living with us. She had gone away to college. So we weren't there every day to, see the decline. But when we finally realized what this was, we set out on a journey to get her help. And it took many years And, we've had our ups and downs and our relapses over and over and several rehabs. And it was just such a hard thing. It was a terrible secret for our family at first. And then we decided to start telling people because we realized that so many others were going through that.
Yeah.
And finally we came to a place where my daughter gave her blessing for me to write a series of suspense novels based on the idea of a family going through this journey with addiction.
Yeah, you are the author of Intervention, Downfall, and Vicious Cycle. Actually, Downfall is the most recent, correct?
Right, and that's the last book in the series.
Right.
So
and
they're all available.
just a reminder, we are speaking with Terry Blackstock, best-selling author of Intervention, Vicious Cycle, and Downfall is the most recent release. And it is about a grown woman's journey through drug addiction, is it not?
It is, and it's also about her family. I really related to the character of Barbara, who is the mother in the series, and what she was going through, because I poured a lot of my own experiences and emotions into that character. And, in some ways it was therapeutic for me to write this because I was able to sort of get inside my daughter's head and sort of, feel what she felt during those years. And it's, what I've really found from this series is that I'm getting just incredible letters from people telling me that this was their story being told, and they felt that they were not alone after reading this, that they realized that other families who did all the right things, supposedly, we didn't have drugs or alcohol in the home at all, but those families can still have a child who gets trapped in drug addiction. And I think that's really what I do with my work now. It's, my mission now is to tell a page-turning, entertaining story that also helps people in some way.
Well, and it sounds like you're doing that. I want to be frank and say I think just about every parent out there, this is their nightmare, is to have their kid.
But you're never prepared. It's a nightmare that you have, but you think, well, it really won't happen to my children.
Sure.
So you don't rehearse it in your mind. You don't have that rehab that you're going to, you just don't have that ready. And when it happened to us, I remember one day she was in Nashville, and I drove from my home to Nashville about 7 hours. And in the car, I was making phone calls, trying to find out what am I going to do? Who do I call? Is there a rehab? Do I send her to what? How much does it cost? Does my insurance pay? Didn't know anything, and it's just a horrible thing to be thrust into that situation and have to make a quick decision when you haven't given it any thought at all.
Well, and I think most parents don't even want to go there.
Exactly.
They don't want to go, so they don't prepare for that.
Right.
We've got about 4 minutes left in this segment. Can you tell me, as a mother, because we do this show for moms, and we are trying so hard to encourage moms and equip moms and equip them for things like this, to be prepared in some way. What would you say happened? Is there something you can trace back about her emotional background, or something that triggered it in her, or some friends or something?
Well, I had a divorce when she was, I guess, about 8 years old. Mm-hmm. And, I know that she had father issues. I know that was a void in her life. And it was, I feel like that was a lot of it. Sure. I think also, though, that she got in with the wrong crowd when she got into college. And she just started using recreationally. She started using painkillers. And then it graduated into much worse drugs, much worse street drugs.
Can you tell me what they were?
Crack cocaine and heroin.
Yeah, wow.
So she was up to 65 painkillers a day. And then she graduated into the street drugs. And, it's just, and she used Xanax. And we made so many mistakes with the rehabs that I put a link up on my website called Hope for Families of Addicts. And it's beneath the column that talks about the book Downfall.
Yeah.
If people would like to go there, they can find tips on how to choose a rehab, how to recognize signs of addiction, and what to do for themselves while they're on this journey. Because it is devastating for parents, and they get sick. They have physical conditions from it. And they need support.
And I want to point out something interesting, Terry. I don't think you were around to listen to the beginning of the show because I know you're elsewhere and you might not have been listening online. But we were talking about family and how children of divorce, and there's no blame here, okay, manifest certain problems more than children that don't go through divorce. And so it's good of you to admit that
Yes.
may have been what was going on there. And I do applaud you for that. And just really briefly in the next minute, is there just very quickly something that you would tell a mom about some signs she can be looking for in her daughter or son?
Well, if they quit bathing, my daughter was very prissy, and she suddenly quit bathing. She would wear the same clothes for days at a time. She wouldn't brush her teeth. She withdrew, really, from her social network. And so, I think when you see that kind of drastic change in your child, you should be looking to see if there's any drugs.
Sure.
And invade their privacy, because I think that's absolutely necessary.
Yeah, and you were able to do that.